stepped into the windy Chicago air, my heart both excited with anticipation and quietly heavy with memories of a painful breakup with my ex, Amir. Recently leaving Cincinnati behind, I had moved here in search of a fresh start, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with new connections and experiences. Before I prepared to venture out, I stood before the mirror. I adjusted my bold turquoise glasses, my signature accessory that somehow captured my eclectic spirit, and smoothed my heat-pressed hair into place, determined to defy Chicago's notorious autumn breezes. Though I stood a modest 5 feet, it made for a very cute appearance. Aaron, my big brother, had welcomed me into his spacious Hyde Park apartment with open arms. His home was a sanctuary where I could feel safe and nurtured as I embarked on this new chapter. My new role as an art history instructor at the Art Institute of Chicago was a dream come true, and the opportunity came at just the right time. Yet, as much as I adored the world of fine art, I equally enjoyed literature, finding solace in the words of classic novels. I was determined to let both my passions guide me in this vibrant city. Eager to explore, I wandered the streets near the Art Institute. I soon discovered a charming storefront bearing the simple, inviting sign, Books and Brew. The idea of a place where a quaint bookstore merged with a cozy cafe was irresistible, a perfect retreat for a lover of both literature and cozy drinks. With a hopeful heart, I pushed open the door and was greeted by a warm glow, the gentle murmur of patrons discussing their latest literary discoveries, and the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee. I found a quiet spot by a large window, ordered a cup of chai, and settled in with my well-worn copy of Kindred by Octavia Butler. As I lost myself in the captivating storyline, my gaze drifted around the room. It was then that I noticed him, a man behind the counter, carefully arranging a display of newly released books. His presence was quiet but magnetic, and there was something in the way he handled each book with such reverence that I felt a spark of curiosity. He had dark hair, styled in a way that suggested he didn't try too hard, but still looked effortlessly put together. He was physically fit, his posture straight and confident, yet not overly rigid. He had a certain kind of intensity about him that seemed out of place for someone working behind the counter of a bookstore. He was too handsome, too striking to be seen so casually stocking shelves and arranging books. For a moment, I wondered what had brought him here, of all places. "I want to be one of those books," I said to myself slyly, as I watched him carefully stacking and arranging the books. Before I could return to my novel, a friendly voice and familiar face broke through my silent lusting. "Hi there, you're Ava, right? The new instructor at the Art Institute?" I looked up to see a tall, warm-eyed woman approaching. Dressed in a stylish yet understated outfit, with a cascade of curly hair framing her face, she radiated both friendly and approachable energy. "I'm Hannah," she said with a gentle smile as she extended her hand. "I work in communications and marketing at the Art Institute. I'm really glad to see a new face at work." Trying to hide my embarrassed face from being caught watching the bookstore clerk, I extended my hand toward hers for a friendly shake. "Thank you. I've seen you around. Nice to meet you. I'm new to the city and glad my new position allows me to have a fresh start. Do you frequent this spot?" Hannah's smile deepened as she leaned in a bit. "Absolutely. Best chai in the city. Chicago has a way of inspiring new beginnings. I'd love to hang out with you after work. Maybe over another cup of chai sometime, or a drink at one of the bars near here." Her tone was inviting, hinting at a genuine interest in building a friendship. I managed a small, grateful smile. "I'd like that," I replied, feeling both comforted and a little awed by her vibrant energy. There was something undeniably sincere in her manner, a balance of boldness and warmth that made me want to open up, despite my usual reserve. Just as we began to exchange pleasantries about our place of employment and the magic of unexpected adventures, my attention wandered back to the counter. The man I had noticed earlier was still working quietly, meticulously arranging a stack of romance books. A small detail caught my eye, a name tag pinned neatly to his crisp shirt. Ethan. I paused, a flutter of curiosity mingling with the quiet hum of the cafe. Curiosity got the better of me. I paused my conversation with Hannah and directed a question toward that fine male specimen. "Excuse me," I called softly to him as he reached for another book. His dark eyes met mine for a brief moment, and in that instant, the world around me seemed to hush. I couldn't help but notice the books you're stacking. I'm curious. Do you recommend any of them? I asked. Ethan offered a small, reserved smile, the kind that hinted at 1,000 unspoken stories. Well, he replied in a calm, measured tone, these aren't exactly my genre of choice. I've always been fond of the works of Hemingway. There's something raw and honest about his prose. His response was simple, but it carried a depth that resonated with me. I nodded thoughtfully, feeling an inexplicable pull. Ah, a man who enjoys the classics. Hemingway has a way of cutting right to the heart of things, doesn't he? I mused, feeling as if I had just shared a secret with someone who truly understood the language of art and loss. Hannah's eyes twinkled as she observed our exchange. You two should chat more about literary classics, she remarked with a playful grin, before adding, it's always refreshing to meet someone who appreciates the beauty and simplicity. Hannah stood up, preparing to leave. Well, I should be going. See you at work, Ava. She walked toward the door, but not without pointing to Ethan and mouthing to me, he's hot, on her way out the door. Yeah, I can definitely see us becoming fast friends. Ethan went back to his store duties, and I turned my attention back to my book, while sneaking peeks of him in between pages. Drinking my chai tea, I couldn't shake the lingering impression of Ethan's quiet presence. There was a mystery in his thoughtful gaze, a silent promise of stories yet to be told. In that cozy, book-lined corner of Books and Brew, surrounded by the soft murmur of conversation and the aromatic blend of coffee and chai, I sensed that my move to Chicago was already beginning to weave together the threads of a new, beautiful chapter.